Hear me okay? Good morning. Thank you all for being with us here today. My name's Ethan Nelson. I'm the director of the Western Library System, and with me today is Richard. Richard Landreth is your assistant director and your library commission. So we have some temporary tattoos. If you haven't gotten your tattoo, feel free to get that. Everybody gets a goodie bag, a white goodie bag. And we also have every library gets a blue bag. So Richard will tell you a little bit about what's in the blue bag.
All right, this is in your blue bag. And every library gets one, as it says. I'm getting a nice, really nice looking small summer reading poster. And I'm using Alliance's bag, so I'm going to stand here and give it to them so they can repack the bag. The book we chose this year is Dino Quest. I love this. It is a kind of it's fun. It's absolutely fun. You'll enjoy it. Oh, yeah, kids will too. And then what else is it? Oh yeah, there's other little goodies back there. And I forget what this is, Ethan. Oh, my favorite part. The literary calendar. And if you've not used these before, and I can get you some extras. This is a day-by-day literacy activity calendar. Absolutely fun. If you need more than one, let me know. I've got a digital copy I can send you, or I can even get you a hard copy. So, if you also ordered some bookmarks, some of those might be in there in the bag. Not all of them came in. So, I don't think this is working. Oh, I'll turn it off.
And so thank you all virtually who are joining us. So we did send out all the folder handouts, digital copies to everybody who registered, so all the virtual folks and everybody here in person as well. And you might have noticed our fancy might show up here. So this is called a JBL party box. And we decided we really needed a portable PA system. Both for the library system events and also for our member lines. So this is something that we're wanting to be able to check out to our libraries, and so you can make use of it as well for your own programming. So we'll have it, we're finalizing a few things, but we'll have it ready to go before summer reading. So keep an eye out for an email announcement. We'll give you details on how to request it and how long to check it out.
It's kind of fun. You can also control some of it through the app. Play it. It's all Bluetooth with no wires. It's very easy. You're gonna shut the light show off on the here.
Carry no people already.
So where are we having the karaoke party at the church?
Well, we're to schedule one. Right after this workshop. Few other housekeeping things, restrooms are right around the corner to your left there. We'll have lunch starting around 11:30, and lunch includes a club wrap, pickle, chips, and a cookie. And now I thought we could all just go around and introduce ourselves and say your name, your job title, which library you're from, and also if you have a favorite dinosaur. I think we'd all want to know what your favorite dinosaur is.
Yes. I'm Stephanie O'Connor. I'm the director here in Alliance. And my favorite dinosaur is probably a Stegosaurus, even though it probably now has a different name. I didn't learn the new name, so Stegosaurus for me.
And I'm Cynthia Horn, Children's and Youth Services here in Alliance, and my favorite is the Brontosaurus.
I'm Denise Educator from the Gearing Public Library, and I am a adult public service assistant. And I also like the brontosaurus.
I'm Jeff Feet. I am also with Gearing Public Library. I am the youth services assistant. I work with the teams primarily. I'm also the social media coordinator. So I have lots of job titles. And my favorite dinosaur is the Uoplocephalus. You know what that one is? You can look it up.
You have to spell it.
Probably could, but it'd take.
I'm Haley. I also work at the Gary Public Library. I'm the youth services librarian, so I do all that stuff with the younger crowd. And my favorite dinosaur is also Brontosaurus. I like the tall necklace. Those are cute.
I am Rosana Pesh. I am the director of Sharon Public Library. My favorite is that you got no silver Rex. I am a little bit of Rex.
I am Lori Zitterpop. I'm representing Scottsbluff County 4-H today. And my favorite thing is I did a dinosaur day with my Cub Scouts years ago.
Lynn Peterson from Henry Ford, I'm on board, and I don't really have any favorite dinosaurs, I'm not into dinosaurs.
For me too, like this. I just need to just dinosaurs. I'm Becky Eagle from the public library. I'm the library director. And I guess if I had to pick a favorite one, I would do the best. I'm Sarah Johansson. I'm on the board for the Western Library System, and I would have to say the T-Rex is my favorite.
I'm Priscilla Placencio from the Local Public Library. I'm the assistant librarian, and I love all.
But not picture.
I'm Sally Snyder from the Nebraska Library Commission, the Children and Teen Coordinator. My favorite dinosaur is Triceratops. We'll find out why in a minute.
I'm Greg Streets. I'm also from the Nebraska Library Commission. I'm the marketing outreach coordinator for the Talking Maker Braille service. I have to say the T-Rex just because of their little arms.
Yeah. I'm Peter Becker, the library assistant. I don't know nothing about dinosaurs.
I'm Dylan Cecil, I'm the director of the Morrill Public Library, and my favorite would be a Triceratops.
I'm Sarah, and I'm the county public library in person, and I'm the director, and I like all dinosaurs except well. I like how I live.
Thank you, Platinum, from the Henry Ford, library on the board meeting.
I'm Cindy Davies, and I'm on the Henry Ford Library Board. And I found that Nigel Margaret was a huge asset, United States, my grandsons were learning about dinosaurs.
I'm Lexi Bester from the library. I'm the summer reading program coordinator. I would say my favorite dinosaur is probably the Triceratops. Robin Armenta, part of the coming board. For I would say not the dinosaurs. Sid Trickler, director of the board of the library, and mine also is Triceratops.
I am no rating rate for sure of the library of the youth service, and I would say I like all of the dinosaurs parts of shoes.
Pterodactyl and Tian.
And I'm a pterodactyl guy too.
That was wrong.
Also really want to thank our summer reading committees, Sarah Johansson is our chair, and Priscilla Placencio, Dylan Cecil, and Marian Moreno. Thank you so much for your help. Getting everything set up for today and tomorrow. Well, with that housekeeping out of the way, I think next up we'll have Melissa Mracek from the Fox County Extension Office. She's the youth development educator, and she's going to tell us about some of the services at UNO Extension, as well as some hands-on activities that would be perfect for your summer reading programs.
Thank you, Ethan. I'm Melissa Mracek, and I'm the 4-H educator that covers the Northern Panhandle. So I work in Sioux, Dawes, Fox, Butte, and Sheridan counties. And so Nebraska Extension for several years has been doing a summer reading program that kind of fits with the library theme every year, which I'm sure a lot of you are well aware of. But I came today to kind of present some of the resources that we have available that will be coming out here in February that have lesson plans already made. And then when Ethan told me too about the theme, that is also First Lego League's robotics theme this year. And so I'm heavily involved in the robotics group. And so I'll share a little bit of information that I found through our project research for robotics. So with that, I have a short presentation and then a hands-on activity for us. So again, our 4-H summer reading program also follows the Unearthing the Story theme, and there's 4 lessons that are developed. They are kind of targeted with the 4-H's in 4-H, but they have their own titles and activities with them. So one lesson was starting with our head, and that's called Unearthing Earth. I apologize, it's a little bit hard to read up here. But the objectives with the lesson is that they are going to learn a little bit about Earth's surface being broken down through weathering. They are going to learn about small pieces of the Earth and how it gets moved through erosion, and then how they're deposited somewhere else. So some of the activities with them, and you'll kind of, I'll do a summary at the end, but all of these lessons have multiple activities with them. One generally is a movement activity. One is kind of a STEM related activity, and then sometimes there's a snack activity also involved, okay? And so with this one, there's wind erosion tag, there's cereal soil, which we'll be doing today. There is physical weathering through using sugar cubes, and then water erosion and deposition are those activities within that. For the heart lesson, they have it called Dino Detectives. And the students will identify several key dinosaur features, including their tails, their armor, neck size, and explain how each feature helps them survive. They will compare different dinosaurs and describe how specific features match their needs, like long neck for reaching with tall trees, and then learn the part of the dinosaur and why they are important. So some activities with that are they're going to design their own dinosaur. They're going to do a move like a dinosaur activity. So there's that movement activity in there. And then also the dino freeze dance. The hands lesson is what's your favorite dinosaur? And it's going to explain what fossils are and how they're formed. Use observation skills to infer what a fossil might tell us. Connect real science careers and help the world around them. So these are kind of the objectives that are going to fall in with the school objectives, if you're curious what those are. And then the activities are Dino Dump, meet a dinosaur skeleton using noodles, and digging for chips using chocolate chip cookies. And then the last one is the health, or the dinosaur diet detectives. And they're going to identify herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores using physical traits, compare dinosaur diets to modern animal diets and human nutrition, and then use evidence to infer what an unknown mystery dinosaur ate. So the activities involved with that are dino move and match, dino discovery, so learning about the teeth, the legs and body size, arms and claws, flying abilities, and neck length. And then what's on the menu, the Dino edition, and doing some Dino and Diet mix and match. So these lessons are really geared toward youth that are kind of in that second, third grade on up to, you could probably use some with some of the middle school youth as well. But the other, a resource I'll show with you in a little bit has STEM learning activities with the books that go for your kids younger. So from the preschool to infant age, that's what they're geared toward. We have a separate team that works with those, that's their specialty is the younger youth from 1st to 8th. And so they have some separate guides as well that have activities. So kind of like I mentioned at the beginning, all of the lessons have a suggested book or suggested books that follow the theme. They lay out the vocab words, you can kind of talk through with the kids on those. They have a movement activity, a snack activity, and a STEM activity. And so that other resource I had mentioned is this STEM learning guides. I can send out the web link, but it's the ones for the K to younger preschool age group, okay? The ones I showed to you today are for the third youth. Is there any questions about any of this before we dive in a little bit more?
You will send that to us?
Yes, I will send that to you. And then these lesson plans, they come out in February, and I can send Ethan that link as well. They shared all across the state of Nebraska, and just basically ask a couple questions, and then you get access to all the lesson plans. Yep. The lesson that we're gonna dive into a little bit today is that one that's gonna go with the head, okay? So we have the cereal lesson, there's a little bit about erosion in it, and about deposition of the soil. So today I just thought we would do kind of that cereal activity that's talking about the different size of particles and things like that within our soil, right? So they suggested that you can go out and grab some soil from your backyard or wherever you like, and then you can leave it in a bag and put half of it in a jar with some water that you can use later on. I printed off a few pictures just so you could see some of the layers in our soil. Thanks, Susan. As you pass that around, you might notice that there's different layers, but what tends to be kind of at the bottom, if we think about it? What is in the layer at the bottom? Rocks, right? Right? So that one, the heavier the particle, when we add it in water, the first it is going to be laid down and deposited on where it lands, right? So today in our cereal mix, we're going to use granola clusters as our rocks or gravel, okay? All right? Then, if we have 4 layers in our soil, right? So we're gonna start with our heaviest, that's the bottom rock, which is our gravel. And then next, we are going to use Rice Krispies in this instance. And our Rice Krispies are going to mimic, yeah, of course I don't say it wrong. Our Rice Krispies are going to mimic our sand, right? So when there's optionally, you can add milk to their little mix here later on. And you'll see to show them how the gravel is not very packed in. So the water or the milk in this instance can easily flow through them. The sand is a little bit tighter, but still our water can still flow through it fairly well. Okay, so we can talk about the differences in those different soil types. Next, they had crushed cornflakes. I did crushed Apple Jacks. And so that is going to represent silt. So silt is even smaller than sand, and it has a tiny pieces, but they're not quite powdery is what you're going for. And it feels kind of silky in the real soil that you would have. So here's our silt. And then the last thing we're gonna put on top is powdered sugar, and that's gonna represent clay. What happens when clay gets wet? It's kind of sticky, right? And sticks together. So that's kind of our powder sugar is going to represent clay and how the water, when it's wet, it sticks together and it doesn't quite funnel through all the way like that. So I'm gonna pass out some cups. I brought a couple of different sizes in case we need some different ones, but. So I'll just start with our gravel, which is our granola. Why don't you take a spoon and pass it down? Now we could maybe start that one in the back. Perfect. So yeah, if you just want to take a couple scoops for your gravel, your big rocks at the bottom. The nice thing about this is all of these ingredients are fairly cheap, but also friendly for specific diets. You know, gluten might be the only thing to watch out for a little bit, but. Right, and then we'll start our Rice Krispies, which is our sand. Then our silt. And I apologize, I wasn't sure how to do the powdered sugar other than in the back, so I know it might be a little bit. I think I'm good. Okay, well, good. Okay. What's fun, I think, about this activity is the kids are getting a snack, which they love, but they're learning about science and they don't even realize it, right? Through talking about the different size of particles, and still getting to enjoy the activity. Wow. As a other kind of reminder, we do have extension staff that cover all 93 counties in Nebraska. So myself and another one will cover the North Panhandle. We are always willing, if it fits into our schedule, to come over to the library and do one of these lessons with you or for you, or other activities that you so have that you are interested in. Just feel free to kind of reach out to our extension office and we gladly try and make something set in our schedule to participate with you guys.
I'll just say that Melissa has shared several of the robotics here at the library and we absolutely love it. Oh, so amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So kind of as they're enjoying your snack, you can kind of talk with them about, you know, what happens if you pour the milk down between it to see what we kind of talked about happening between the layers. What happens if we get, you know, a lot of rain? What happens if the wind comes through? There's different erosion things you can talk through, and there's reflection questions within the lesson plan for you as well. Besides, like I said, there's other activities that you can do. So they have one in there that I didn't think I would do with all of you, but they have sugar cubes. And you put sugar cubes in a plastic bag on like a plate, and the kids crush the sugar cubes to kind of show that weathering. And you talk about how water can go in there and then freeze and make it crack even bigger. And then they have another activity within this lesson plan where you use sand and they kind of build a little bit of a hill. And then they engrave in the hill a river pathway and line the river with rocks on the riverbed and run water down it to kind of show some of how that erosion and deposition happens. So the kids kind of get to be a little creative that way. Any other thoughts or questions about these lessons before I share a little bit of resources too on the robotics side? So, like I said, robotics actually has the same kind of unearthing theme this year. And through our youth research, we found that besides your terrestrial or on land artifact archaeology, there is also underwater archaeology and maritime archaeology, which combines the water and the land. And so there's some really cool resources out there for even underwater archaeology. We've had some youth members have the privilege of actually getting to Zoom with an archaeologist from Croatia. She is doing dives down around there and learning about, like, different shipwrecks and things that are happening. But it doesn't have to just be about the dinosaur side of things too. There's a whole other set of archaeology studies within underwater things and things like that. So some of our kids are doing projects around, building museum exhibit ideas and things like that based on their research of what they found, which can be kind of cool as well. There are other local archaeologists that I do have their contact information that are willing to communicate with different groups if you're interested in having a professional kind of talk with groups. There is one actually kind of up by Shadron, besides obviously the Mammoth Park, but that they are willing to reach out and interact with youth as well, if that's of interest to you. Any other questions or thoughts from me that you have questions about or need ideas for? I'm happy to reach out as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
So out there, but the person at those within, you guys have a metal detectors program?
We don't actually have those. That would be kind of cool, but no, we don't have metal detectors for it. Yeah, that is kind of a good idea though. Yeah. Kind of do that archaeology dig type thing. Yeah. They are doing, a lot of different places are utilizing drones for archaeology stuff. So, if you have like a drone contact, we do have some drones within our extension office that are kid-friendly codable drones that we use for different programs. So if that's a thought, like I said, kind of reach out. We're actually using them on Thursday for a different program. But they are doing some research with drones now in archaeology that you could tie into that as well. Like I said too, with Cynthia, we brought in our first LEGO League robotics, which there are kind of teams all across the Panhandle. And we have this year missions that are geared around the archaeology theme. Sometimes for a short program, it's a little bit harder to have the kids build a robot and program it all in one day. But we can bring the setup in and kind of have some things ready to go if you want to use the archaeology theme of our mat as well. Otherwise, there's some simple coding things that you can do as well and talk about how, archaeologists use similar tools with their underwater unmanned vehicles and things like that. But even that's kind of all I have today, unless we need something else. But like I said, feel free to, I'll send those links that I have to Ethan, and he's got my contact information, or Cynthia does. If you want to reach out, we'd be happy to try and interact with you in your library.
You'd be able to share your presentation, and we have a Google Drive, I can just for the food shop, I just put that presentation.
Yeah, I definitely, yep, and I'll put my contact information on that presentation, so then that'll be easy for you to go. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for having.
We'll have a short break here. Our next speaker will be Rachel Scheet from the State Museum, and she'll be zooming in to share a little bit more about the virtual field for what the State Museum. So,
Our senior resources.
Do you want? Yeah, you can take that stuff and then, so it's still less of this like draft form. But if you want it, you can have that, that's. Yeah. Yes, of course, of course.
That would be.
Well, the team all have this developed, so I just asked if I could share it with them, so. Yep, just extension educators like myself.
So cool.
Yes, so
What a
they
great team.
do a great job.
Yeah.
Great team, just like.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is my library system, we are very.
we are, very much so.
That is cool.
Yes, and like I said, there's a whole bunch more I will be releasing in February, all of the other lessons. That will have all the updates.
I gave somebody else's to.
Right.
Now's a great time if you don't have your tattoo applied. Well, because they're able tattoos. Yeah.
Ethan doesn't have one yet.
Yeah. I'm thinking about where to put it.
Your third eye. Oh. I know, right? So we're gonna have to. Perfect. Yes. Yeah, you should. Oh. Yeah, yeah, so I'll be taking out her. Sorry. Thank you so much. Yes. This one has slides. And so these will be like that.
There's anything else to see? Perfect, well, I'll send some, she's gonna get back to the office and. Then I said, I gotta get a picture. Yeah, maybe you can run away. So. That's fun. That's like. It's like.
I'm down. I said, season. What hand do you want about?
Yeah.
Oh, you want that arm in the champ?
Yeah.
Oh, it's.
That's what I want to do. I didn't like the site. That's not.
Yes. Staff for that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have a few dino snacks for you. If you want a snack, I have
Put your
some.
hands straight, it's not just that.
And I have a few of these flexible dinosaurs left on the bike, which sounds.
I wanna take that.
Yeah. And I just grabbed it. Yeah, and that was so sweet. I'm like. That's what should just take that out.
Applesauce and the.
These are cute.
That's that squishy dinos.
All right, that's cool.
I wish they could be today.
Gavin today always has these great bookmarks. And I know there's some in your, there should be some in your bag, but if you want some extras, please, please. Well, I've got like 8 packs of these that I would love. All right.
Yeah, everybody goes.
I did it, yeah, but I see where it's standing up so bad.
So precious.
I love that.
Anyone else?
She's not my last, yes, yeah. Yes, yeah.
And then, so they found these on. And
Yeah, so.
I know those cookies.
Yes. Ain't awesome.
Which is nice.
That's it.
Yeah. I used to have some time that I had that, but I'm not playing. I like, this is my latest, but they're not used to body. It's like words. Things together. Yes. Yes. It's like a words of friends. Oh, yeah. I do too. But then the conversation started. And it's sort of. Just was like, oh, I know. Yes. I love that. That was so fun. Yes. I bet will be. Yeah, just like a stroke light. And I also do. Oh, yeah. I'm involved in the stuff of the doctors. I'm not. I'm never like. Which means that you try to work. Very good. Once you get the hang of it. Like military things. I was this one thing, you know, to come in, but we have. So we need that, so you can very much like, no. Good. Like. I'll try it. We're making an experiment. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll be glad you guys.
This is like the lava.
Right.
Cool lava.
I was pretty good at that. He's got a nice bird. That was big increases in price of socks.
Yeah. We can't really this. And her 3 years ago. Wow. And this is the 4th one. So the first one was a different. Downtown, which have the shop and the first one was really grown. One was the share. Oh, the stuff that she can't. But anyway, I don't just let down. And then you were shot from the courthouse and slavery. Wow. She has been we had the evolve and actually that was maybe that's why it's so. Now this section is one part of it that's kind of so the better. Yeah, and then we did a big city council. Yeah, that's a good idea. You do use our financial changes for staff. Yeah, so it's a pretty good size. It is, so. And the Gearing Civic Center. Yes. That's one thing for our kickoff last year. And it was nice to be just like spread out and have a bunch of different activities and stations and stuff. Yes. And we didn't have to worry about the weather. Yes. That was my main. That was like, if I have to worry about the weather, then I can say that. And then make a decision if we're gonna have these. Now we're just gonna sit here for 5 hours while we're trying to, let's try to avoid that time, yes. If I haven't been the one that's in charge of the decision, I just gotta plan ahead and avoid that at all costs. Yeah, that's right. I don't know, the way this year is going, it's right back when you were in gym. Seriously, it's so nuts. I mean, I love. There's so wide. Be here. Let's get it over. Yes. That's probably. Yeah.
So that it happens.
Varies. Yes. I know when I'm with that, so. So, yeah. Well, they really walk, nice. Yes. Especially where to give you terms of. So that's how we just try. We had a buddy. So we follow that. I would sacrifice you. And I have sacrifice. So that's, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. It's always a good year. You know, that's great. When you grow for. Yeah. I'm engaged to, yeah, I'll run out of stuff. Good for you. That's brings it up. But my part of that, so more so there's so much stuff.
So I still. So just sitting in my church and then a church has a big circle.
Sure, you just got it. Yeah, that was. But it's so. Oh. Yeah. I said, easy, I used to say, I wouldn't know it is. Well, I'm not to say, I did it's kind of, so you consider working as a lost. That's my last reason. Rather than we'll sign up. I must be shot. He's like, are you sure we don't say it? I said, yes, I'm sure it's okay. It's just open one all the time.
We have some bags left over and Richard does not want to take it. I know. Every library's gonna get, take a hundred back.
It's all the. Love. Everything from my live, but things that I think I. Oh, that is.
I'll get another one.
Yeah, thank
How many do you have, baby? Okay.
Oh. What was in your. Here. Bag. It's what those. Oh, that's. Okay, that reminds me of one more thing. Yay. Yes. Good. Yeah. We can do a. Well, I was just. Yes. So I think that that's a trap. I will not use it. See. Where she's. It's what he Last year, it's like, because it's. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, we, you're going to the next line, you know, that is.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I just wondered that.
There's no highlights.
Oh, I just wondered. You have something in your office right now, Sharon. My people really love that.
Yes.
You're very. Yeah, and then, just things about that, but I have one that else. Yeah, we are so, and we're interested in yes, so, one thing like that. And we don't want to this one. That would be so fun if they had. You're sharing. I'm not. This is multiple. So like. I started the 90s, might be a little bit interesting, so. It's like. Yeah. That's like something about. Why did? Stick your body, that was like this. Oh, so the I show they how that's the kind of the things that we're showing. Is that time for me?
Yeah.
We're just analyzing. You're. Oh, it's did too. Yeah, she's so. We have one. Yeah. So that's how line or someone's back. That was. When the times it's on just It's getting kicked against. I would love to hear the. I think that. And absolutely. So you can stop doing that.
Can you hear me?
I will be.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Okay, awesome. Are you guys ready to start or you need a couple minutes?
Yeah, I'll introduce you here and, yeah, then we're good to go. So,
Okay.
So Rachel Scheet is joining us. She's the Earth and Space Science Coordinator from University of Nebraska State Museum at Morrill Hall. So she's going to tell us today about some of the services provided by the State Museum. And I thought this would be great this year, especially their virtual field trips and their shoebox learning kits. And we actually have the dinosaur teeth shoebox learning kit with us here today, so we can kind of pass that around too. And so thank you, Rachel, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. So part of my job is that I run the virtual programming here at Morrill Hall, but I'll run you through that, what we offer there that might fit your theme for unearthing a story. And then I'll also run you through the kits. I have a PowerPoint that I'll click back and forth to, but I'm going to send it to Ethan because there's links in there. And then there's instructions to of how to reserve your kit. So, okay. So, am I sharing the right thing? It always switches on me. So if it looks goofy, let me know. Okay. Alrighty. So the first one that we're going to talk about the encounter kits. So there's 5 activities in each of the encounter kits. These kits are larger, but the advantage is that those activities, there's nothing else that you would need other than any consumables or making maybe some copies. And they have 5 activities, so that covers your week depending on how many activities you do, but so that kind of covers your week with your participants, at least for one of your activity slots. So if you get an encounter kit, the first one we're going to look at is ancient sea life. This is one of my favorite ones. So if you get one, oh, I forgot to put this back in. So if you get one, you'll open it up. Usually there's some sort of graphics, posters, something that you can kind of decorate with or put up to go on along with your theme. And then in here is kit information and teacher guide. We will always give you a teacher guide because that would be silly not to. I just don't understand why you wouldn't. So, and then each binder in here is the activity, each of the activity. So you'll have materials in here. You'll have, most of the instructions will be in your teacher guide. The rest of the stuff in the kit are just the things that won't fit in here. So when you use this nautiloid shell, that's not going to fit in a binder. So they put it in the kit. So this one is going to be great for your paleontology. So this one has a great kinetic geologic timescale activity. There's 2 activities where you get to meet the animals from Paleozoic time through fossils. It covers the sharks in Nebraska, so that when we had oceans, our inland sea, which is really fun because I feel like especially out west, you guys like students find fossils, so it's kind of fun if they find if they've ever found shark teeth. So making that connection too. And then the last activity, I think it's the last one, they get to compare and contrast a fossil versus not a modern animal, and they do that with shells. So, and that's another fun thing, that if they're finding fossils or they're finding bones, to tell the difference between the two. So that's kind of fun. So that's that one. That's kind of what that covers, a great paleontology one. Oh, sorry, that was loud. There. So the next one, another paleontology one, you might notice a theme. is our elephant trunk kit. And this one is really great. So again, it has 5 activities. This one's nice because that first activity introduces paleontology. And then you're using those skills that a scientist, a paleontologist would use to excavate a site with, it'll have an elephant tooth, but then it'll also have other fossils as well. And the students will use that to put together what ancient elephants ate, what their environment was like, what the climate was like. And they also, and I think the last activity, I wrote it down. So that how paleontologists can use the behaviors of modern elephants to predict what ancient elephants did. So I believe it uses the clash of the mammoths in Crawford that were found in Crawford as that example. So again, teacher guide for it. This one is a little more specific. So there's a fourth and fifth grade guide, as well as a 6th to 8th grade guide. All of these guides are downloadable online, and I can show you that so that you can kind of skim through it and be like, this is already appropriate for the grades I have or the ages I have, or it's like, I could tweak this a little bit and it would still be fun. I'm also happy to help you with that as well, by the way. Okay, last encounter kit I want to show you is this one. So this one, we're popping over to the dinosaur part of your theme. So this is our dinosaur encounter kit. Again, 5 activities. So this one, you're looking at I think like a lot of this is critical thinking skills, and this one puts in tools for that, like dichotomous keys. So how can a paleontologist categorize a dinosaur or the dinosaurs that they find or that they know about? La la la. So you're also using evidence for geology, so movement of the continents, how are dinosaur fossils used as that evidence. This also goes over geologic time and excavation skills, as well as dinosaur behavior. And that's the activity that I have out right here. So students get a baggie of evidence. So this might be fossils, it might be some rocks, or traced fossils like leaf imprints or something like that. And then based on that, and they'll get their footprint as well, they want to figure out how their dinosaur lives. What does it eat? How might it move around? And then this one's fun because they get to kind of be creative and just describe a brief event that may have happened to their dinosaur, like finding water. And all of that I read from the activity. Wow. So again, always a teacher guide, because we are here to support you, not throw you to the wolves. So again, that has those encounter kits, 5 activities. You will be set up well. If you're not, call me. Okay. So those are the encounter kits. Oh, got stuck. Okay. Those are the encounter kits that I think match up. We have more. You're welcome to reserve those too. Totally up to you. We're going to move on to the shoebox kits. Those are smaller. So I think of them as like you have like a mini museum collection that is sent to your library. And so our shoebox kits, they might have, only this one I think has a book. But sometimes they'll have like museum notes, so some short stories in there. You guys are kind of set on the books, so I'm not really worried about you. But each of them will come with a suggested activity. So for this one goes with our tools of early people. So this is just a couple. Those shoe boxes you'll see when you look at the dinosaur teeth one that you have, they're pretty stuffed full with the artifacts. And then they'll be like, that's why there's only one activity, because we want to get you all the material. So this one is more hitting your archaeology, anthropology kind of part of your theme. And then we'll go back to the dinos here. Perfect. So you guys have the teeth one already. The dinosaurs, clues and traces. So it has like a hoof. It has just a ton of different, most of them are casts, of different dinosaurs. I like these because it has like the skin imprints. So that's a fun textile. Textile, that's not what I'm saying. Texture, there it is. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I got all the wordsmiths on my VFT right now, so you guys can help me. But again, this one would be a good one if like, obviously for students to have to interact with, but also if the Dino Kit is out, you could use some of these to do those activities, because remember, all those encounter kit activities are online. And then this one, Dinosaur Diversity, this has a ton of different models of different types of dinosaurs. And again, there's one suggested activity in there. And I know I'm popping through this really fast. We also have fossil mammoths. I'll share this really quick. So these are the 5 that I would recommend, but there's more. So you can look through that and check it out, the list online. There's also fossil mammoths. It's just checked out right now, so I couldn't grab it. Okay, so we're going to move on here to our VFTs, which is more my, oh, there we are. Okay, so which is more my wheelhouse, or what I do every day. Why aren't you listening to me now? Okay, there we go. So one that I would recommend is called Stories Skulls Tell. So it focuses on structure and function of different skulls. So we'll start with zoology with modern creatures that we have in the museum. And then we figure out what the function of that is. And we see that that's true in a lot of different anatomy. So using those skills that a paleontologist would use, like comparative anatomy, to figure out what like a mystery skull that they find could be. So their general diet, so like carnivore, omnivore, or grazer browser, or herbivore, and that kind of thing. So that would be really great for for that paleontology aspect. Oh, that one is recommended for all ages, adults to littles. The prep for that, they just need a pencil and a few pieces of paper, and then you're ready. Okay, the next one that I have is fossil finds in volcanic ash. So this is a virtual tour of the ashfall fossil beds. So this will actually, I don't do this one because I'm at Morrill Hall, but that one will actually be at ashfall fossil beds. And Daniel there will take you through the story of ashfall. He uses a lot of questions. He asks students to observe quite a bit. And then he physically goes in with his Surface Pro to get you into that fossil bed. And that is recommended for 3rd to 8th grade. And I have all this on my PowerPoint that I'm going to send Ethan. I just try not to use PowerPoints too much. And it's also on the website. But Daniel is really good at changing the level. So if you have smaller children that are participating, just let him know. Or if you have older students that are participating, just let him know that. Okay, the last one that last 2 that I'll talk about, this one does come with prep. You have to do the activity before you can do the VFT. And we are pretty flexible with that. Like if you sign up for your VFT and you get your kit and you're like, oh, we have to do this instead, actually, just call and move your VFT to the time that you can do the activity. That's okay. It's no worries. So you have to do this activity before, la, 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 la. Here, let me zoom in here. So this is elephants in your backyard. And this is kind of similar to the elephant trunk, but we're going to send you the dig. So you'll have the dig, you'll have the fossils, the elephant teeth. So the big difference here is that the VFT part. So once your students identify the fossils, and they'll have one mystery fossil, they come to the VFT, or I come to you rather. And we tour Elephant Hall in order to figure out what their mystery fossil might be. And so through this, they'll figure out climate, environment, what their ancient elephants ate. And that one's really fun too because Nebraska, there's only 3 counties that don't have, or well, that evidence of mammoths or ancient elephants haven't been found. So um, that's a fun connection as well. But again, it comes with a guide. I think all you need for this one is sand. So um, comes with a guide and it'll tell you if you need anything. It comes with there is a worksheet in this one so that the participants can catch their thoughts kind of thing. Since it's especially because it's a 2-day activity or at least a 2-part activity so they can remember for when they see me. And then so that one is like, so that's Elephants in Your Backyard. There's also a shorter one called Tusker Power, where it's just the tour of Elephant Hall. You don't see as many elephants in that one, but let's say you do the elephant kit because you want all 5 activities, or the elephant trunk encounter kit, because you want all 5 activities rather than only the VFT. You could maybe sign up for Tusker Power instead, and they'd still get a little bit of the tour of Elephant Hall. So those are the things I have for you. Let's check my time. Oh, I'm doing so good. I'm probably talking way too fast. Okay, so how to reserve your kits, and then we'll go over pricing, and then I'll take questions. Okay, let me share this. Okay, so I have the instructions written down because don't tell anyone, but well, I guess you can tell anyone, but I don't really like our website. I think it's confusing. So, okay, so you're gonna go, I just Google Morrill Hall every time, but you can type in the URL if you want to, and you find that tiny button up there for educators. We've cleaned it up a little bit so there's not so much to click through, which is nice. And then it kind of becomes easy. So as long as you can find that for educators, you're good. And then so virtual or distance learning, and then you can pick that virtual field trip or museum kits or both. And then you just find that register for a virtual field trip or reserve your kit. They're usually they're just at the top of the page. And then make sure you're looking for that confirmation email from the museum for both kits and VFTs. You'll get a confirmation for filling out the form, but you should also get a confirmation from the museum that we are confirming your dates. So pricing. So the shoebox kits that you have with you, those are $20 a week. You guys are in charge of that shipping cost though as well. So that's that plus tax part. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're working on your budget. The larger kits, the encounter kits, those are $40 a week plus shipping and tax. And then for a virtual field trip, those are, so like that Elephants in Your Backyard, that would be that $185 because it includes the kit. The other ones are going to be $45. Tusker Power is only 30 minutes, so that's $100. But if you want help planning your activity out using your kits or where a VFT might fit well, or you just want to brainstorm ideas, let me know. I am happy to help. And then I know I went through that fast. Do you guys have any questions? Or any ideas of how you might use these kits?
We have one question here.
Okay.
The question is, do your virtual field trips get booked up pretty solid during the summer? Or is there
No.
opportunity? Yeah.
No, that's not because I emailed Sally. Oh, her last name's escaping me, but she's like in charge at the libraries. Because
Sally's here with us.
oh, hi, Sally. And because we don't get many summer VFTs, um, and the last year Raphael did Sea Monsters with you guys, Art of the Sea Monster, and I was like, oh, because we were trying to find people to do VFTs because we do schools obviously in the normal time, but we just haven't been getting any summer VFTs, which is, I mean, camps are usually outside, so right? So it doesn't, so we just didn't get as many, but um, you guys have such fun like themes. We were like, "Oh, we can do this. So yeah, for Moral Hall, you'll get in. The it'll prob with kits, it'll VFTs will be easy, I would think. The kits, we only have about two of each. I so that might be a little bit harder. Um, to because that if another library has it when you want it, so that might take some planning. I would definitely reserve, especially the kits ahead of time. VFTs, mm, you'll be fine. If you want to do the Ash Fall one though, we're the opposite. The VFTs, the person who does VFTs there, he also does in-person tours, so that books him up pretty quickly. So if you want to do the Ash Fall tour, I would sign up for those VFTs really fast.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And we do have the dinosaur ancient teeth kit #2 here with us, so I'll pass a few of the examples from the kit around and the lesson plan around, and so then
Perfect.
we.
And you, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
And you can kind of see how much stuff you get in there. So, because they pack it full. Like I have to ask for help every time I repack them because I don't understand how they fit it all in there for the lid to close. Um, so yeah, check that out. So those are the mini collections with the suggested lesson. Um, and some of them, I would also think about like maybe matching them with books. So if you're seeing, um, teeth that might match a dinosaur you're reading about or a book that might apply, or even just to have them observe the differences. Compare and contrast is a great activity. Um, and a great like starting point for any like creative writing or imagination activities, acting things out. Or if you're talking about like carnivore versus herbivore. That would be a really great one. There might be mostly carnivores, but I'm not sure. So a lot of ideas with kits.
Wait, I think we have another question here.
Yeah,
What's your favorite, your personal favorite kid?
my personal favorite kit, I really like Elephants in Your Backyard because I love that they get to dig. And that's the one that or I'm sorry, that's the elephant trunk kit. Um, So I really like that. I like any, as long as they have real fossils, I really like them. Because, like, we don't have dinosaurs in Nebraska because we were underwater. So we have a lot of casts of those. Um, we don't have very many dinosaur fossils. I like the ones where, because Trunk does this, and then the Dinosaur Encounter Kit does this too, where they have to use the fossil to make inferences about the creature itself. So like if it had sharp teeth, or like a claim evidence reasoning kind of thing, like it has sharp teeth or whatever. So it eats meat. This is my evidence. I like it when it does that. And they're figuring out that evidence for environment and climate. I like the application activities. So those are probably my favorite. You guys really did our theme this year. for paleontology. We really ace the like change over time concepts, I feel like. So hopefully we can be helpful for you guys this summer.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for zooming in, Rachel. That was really
Yeah.
great. That's really great programs for our libraries. Another thing I'll mention is that we do have offer summer reading mini grants from the library system up to $100. So that could cover the cost of a 30-minute BFT or one of the encounter
Yeah.
kits or kits as well. So,
Yeah, that's great. Cool. Okay, well, I'll get you that PowerPoint, Ethan, and I'll see you tomorrow.
yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.